Welcome to the Not AI Pod, where we are going to talk about the book The Great Gatsby, the American Dream, that shining beacon of hope and success. But what if the greatest American novel about wealth and ambition was actually a warning about its destructive power?
That's such an interesting way to look at the Great Gatsby. The way Fitzgerald captured the dark side of ambition in the 1920s feels eerily similar to today's tech billionaires and influencer culture.
Well, you know what fascinates me most? The way the story unfolds through Nick Carraway's eyes. This Midwestern guy who moves to New York after World War I, looking for his slice of success, and suddenly finds himself in this world of extreme wealth and moral decay.
Hmm. The geographical divide between West Egg and East Egg really shows how deep those class divisions ran, even among the wealthy, doesn't it?
Oh man, exactly. You've got West Egg with its new money, represented by Gatsby's ridiculous mansion, which would be worth about $51 million dollars in today's dollars, by the way. And then East Egg, with the old money sophistication of the Buchanans.
Speaking of the Buchanans, Tom's character feels like he could have been ripped from today's headlines. A privileged man who never faces consequences for his actions.
Right. And what's really interesting is how Fitzgerald uses Daisy as this perfect symbol of the American dream itself. She's beautiful, wealthy, and completely hollow at her core. Did you know that some literary scholars believe Fitzgerald based her character on his own wife, Zelda?
Well, that adds another layer to the story, and those parties at Gatsby's mansion, they're like something out of a modern reality show.
Absolutely incredible scale, too. Historical records from the time suggest that parties of that size would have cost around $50,000 per night in 1922 dollars. That's nearly $800,000 today, all to create this elaborate facade to impress one person.
So, what do you make of Gatsby's transformation from James Gatz to Jay Gatsby?
You know, it's fascinating because Gatsby's reinvention actually mirrors a lot of real life stories from the Prohibition era. Many of America's most prominent families, including the Kennedys, built their fortunes through bootlegging, just like Gatsby did.
That connection to organized crime really comes to light in that crucial Plaza Hotel scene, doesn't it?
Oh man, that scene is like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Tom starts pulling apart Gatsby's carefully constructed identity, and you can literally feel everything crumbling. It's like watching someone's Instagram persona get exposed in real time.
And then there's that tragic ending with Myrtle Wilson's death.
Yeah, and here's something most people don't know. Fitzgerald actually based that accident on a real incident that happened in 1920 near Great Neck, Long Island, where he was living while writing the novel. It really drove home the idea of how the wealthy could literally get away with murder.
That final image of the green light has become such a powerful symbol in American literature. What makes it resonate so much?
Well, think about it. That green light represents everything just out of reach. Studies show that despite the American dream's promise, social mobility in the U.S. has actually decreased since Fitzgerald's time. Only about 7% of Americans today move from the bottom fifth of income distribution to the top fifth.
Those statistics really bring home the novel's relevance today, don't they?
Exactly. Whether it's Gatsby's mansion in West Egg or a tech startup in Silicon Valley, we're still telling the same story about ambition, reinvention, and the price we pay for our dreams. You know, recent surveys show that nearly 70% of Americans still believe in the American dream, despite growing inequality.
That's what makes the story so powerful. It's not just about the 1920s, it's about this eternal human struggle.
And maybe that's the real legacy of The Great Gatsby. It reminds us to look beyond the glittering surface of success and ask ourselves what we're really chasing. Like Nick says at the end, we're all boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.
Well, that's certainly given me a lot to think about next time I see someone's perfectly curated social media life.
Yeah, I guess some things never change. Whether it's Gatsby's green light or today's Instagram filters, we're all still trying to reach for something just beyond our grasp. Thanks for tuning into the first episode of the Not AI Pod.